All right. So
All right,
we're on.
we're on.
All right. This is Amy from Little Farm Quilts, and you are.
I'm Gail from Gail's Golden Needle.
And we decided that since both of us were having a problem getting motivated to do a floss tube, that maybe we would do one together. Gail and I have been doing a stitching meetup every Sunday for how long?
Oh gosh, about 2 months now, I think.
Yep. Most
Mhm.
Sundays.
Most of it. Well, we kind of started it with the modern folk embroidery, so
Yeah.
maybe even longer.
It may be longer than that. You're right.
Mhm.
I don't know. But anyway, we became friends because I started putting out floss tubes, and Gail was a consistent viewer and commenter. And then we just got chatting, and yeah, we're becoming fast friends.
Yep.
And our love for everything sewing, stitching, and all the crazy stuff.
Yeah, and we have a lot of personal things in common as well.
Yeah.
So I think that helped us to become fast friends on floss tube.
So we decided to try something fun today and get us both out of our doldrums. I'm in upstate New York. Gail lives in Chicago.
Yep, I'm in the city of Chicago.
What's the weather like in Chicago today?
Yeah.
What's the weather like today in Chicago?
Oh, it's been a little bit cooler. Cloudy, spits of rain, so it's been that way weekend.
Yeah, it's been pouring all day today here.
Oh, we don't have the pouring. Just,
it's been pouring. I have the smell of wet dog in my house today, all that.
It's just, at least finally everything popped after we had the warm and then all of this other rain. I mean, everything is popping. Things are coming up out of the ground. It's green, it's pretty.
Yeah, here too, we've had some 70-degree days. We had an 80-degree day yesterday, and you can see like the green haze in all the trees because all the leaves are starting to pop out.
Yeah.
A bit of bad news for our household. The bees left.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so yeah, I've talked on my channel quite a bit about honey beekeeping.
Yeah.
About the bees. It looks like they've left. They were there 3 weeks ago. They are no longer there. So.
Oh, so they just up and leave?
Yeah.
Oh.
Must be they were fairly healthy because they came into spring with a vengeance. And I think what probably happened is the space got too small for them and they decided to leave so they could build larger.
Okay.
Yeah, it is what it is.
So will you get more, do you think?
I don't think so right now, just because we have so many trips planned this summer because now we can travel.
Mm-hmm.
That it's probably not a good time for us to do that. Maybe in the future. I don't know. We have honey that probably lasts us and our family for a year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I don't know.
Good.
We'll see. There's a season for all things,
Right. It's a time for everything. Yep.
Exactly. So what do we want to do first?
Do you want to do fully finishes?
Sure. You're the only one that has those.
I have one FFO that. So this is a combination of a free chart from Mama Loves You GB Michelle, her mod. So it's kind of like this, but it's on her. You can get it through her. And also Modern Folk Embroideries free Black Lives Matters pincushion. I took the motif and I got a gift from Amy, which was some hand-dyed fabric, some Aida, it's beautiful, and some hand-dyed floss. So I did this.
I love that.
So I put
like
here
together.
Mm-hmm. And I just put one motif in there.
Yeah, that's
so great. And I did use also DMC 3834 to put like the G, the M, and I did the Q because this kind of reminded me of my grandmother who taught me all of this, my mama, Barry. And this is the back.
I know, that's pretty. I really like that.
Yeah, because her name, it wasn't Maud. Her real name was Mildred. her mother's name was Maud, but she went by Qteen.
Mm,
So I did the Q.
there you go.
Qteen over Mildred. Okay. So that's and yeah, this one's not fully finished yet.
Oh, you can show that one. You're the only one that finishes anything out of the two of us.
Well, I ran out of stuffing because I did that, but and this is from Winds of Autumn Blackbird's Designs. So
Very nice.
Little, I think it's called Song of Autumn or something like that. So the little bird. So
Yeah.
so that's what I did there. So do you have any finishes?
No, none.
No.
No.
Oh, that's it. All I've got.
I
Everything
won't
else.
finish anything for the next 5 years.
Well, I do a lot of smalls in between some of these big ones. I'm like, let me get something done.
I have whips.
Okay.
I guess we should stop to say this is a channel about cross stitch. Everybody's doing that.
Oh yeah.
Yep, this is a channel
Cross
about cross stitch. We're going to talk a little bit of sewing.
Quilting.
Yep. Well, because we're both quilters. We'll keep the sewing to the end, and that way,
Right.
if it's not your gig, you can piece out and
Right.
be done. I have whips.
Okay.
I only have 4 of them, but Gail and I already talked about this. I don't have a whole lot to show because I've been busy.
Yep.
But
Well,
I figured it was
whip
time.
it. Even if you like put 10 stitches in, it's a whip.
Well, I have this piece that it's my morning stitch every morning. It's pretty beat up. It's the Lost No More. It's a gold
Like that one.
dimensions kit. I started this 20 years ago, then put it away. Everybody that watches my channel knows about this because I've talked about it like a lot. Let me get it. See, I didn't even take it out of Q stand.
Well, I don't take my things out either because I'm working on them. I'm really lazy that way, I guess.
Take this off because it's right in Jesus's face. So this piece comes out most mornings, and it gets whatever time I have. If it's 30 minutes, if it's 15 minutes, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So when I pulled it out at the beginning of the year, it had just this part done in the center. So it had Jesus done and then this part. So since the beginning of the year, I've gotten all of this done, and I'm down to here.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
I mean, I like it. I worked on it all of the day Easter for obvious reasons, but
Oh, nice.
yeah, that's what I worked on all day on Easter Sunday. Well, besides my family did, I guess. And I like working on it. It's a full coverage, but I like it. It's on 18 count, I think, ivory Ada that came with the kit, and it's with all the kit floss. So
Okay.
and I'm hoping that the way I'm stitching it, because this was started 20 years ago, and remember when we stitched 20 years ago, it was done totally different then, I'm hoping that the floss is enough floss in there to.
I was just going to ask, is there enough floss in there?
Yeah, well, we'll see, because now I do the parking method with my full coverage pieces. I only have 2, this one and one other. And I do the parking method now, which drags your threads across the back. So I'm hoping, if not, honestly, I'm just going to match the closest DMC I can. And we'll just kind of go from there. And hopefully, if it looks like I'm going to have plenty, but looks can be deceiving. So we'll see. The other one that I have, I just dropped something. I have to get it later. Oh, where is it? Oh, here it is. I put it back on a frame. The Modern Folk Embroidery.
Yes. Look at that.
Fruits of Plenty, right? This is what this is.
Fruits of Plenty.
So I'm not caught up, as everybody can see. I'm working on March. April obviously came out a couple weeks ago. My goal this month is to finish the March and at least get into the April.
I know, but this was a restart also.
This was a restart. I started with the Call for Colors. Oh, that's what I dropped, my spool of thread, probably. It is. And I did not like the Call for Colors. Gail and I were on a Sunday stitching, and I said, I mean, it's nice. I love the pattern, but it really just wasn't bringing me joy to stitch it. It wasn't my color palette at all. So she gave me the suggestion to pick my own. So I picked, I'll tell you, this is a DMC blue. I think it's 823.
Mm-hmm.
It is. This is a gray, and I'll give you that number in a minute. And this is a sulky. It's a blendables in the colorway Peacock.
Yep. I love it.
And I think that it's working up quite nicely. So the other thing I'm doing is some of it is 2/2, some of it's 1/2. So the sulky is all 1/2 on 36 count Edinburgh, because that's thicker anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But I just went out of focus, I think. Is it out of focus?
No, it looks good.
Okay. This is 2/2 with the blue. This is 1/2. So I saw, this is actually the blue.
Oh, that is the blue.
That is the blue. So see how this stands out more than this?
Does.
So I'm kind of arbitrarily picking things to do 2/2 to have it stand out more.
I love it. I love the effect. It's so beautiful.
In this one here, I've got the main flowers. I stitched in the 2/2 blue, but then this branch and the mirror one over here is going to be stitched 1/2 in the same blue.
That's so cool.
So it gives it kind of dimension, I think, that I'm enjoying that part of it. Figuring out.
Well, it also helps you to, like you said, be able to use one floss color, but the saturation will be different if you're using one strand or two strands. Exactly. So your saturation is, so it's the shading. Mm-hmm.
Exactly. So I really like it. I'm enjoying the stitch. I actually did most of this pot this morning. These flocks this morning. I didn't do Jesus this morning. I did this one this morning.
Okay.
But he comes out most days. The other one I have is a small. I started. I think when I talked to you last, I said I'd finish it that week. Remember?
Mm-hmm. No.
Nope. It's a prairie schooler. It is called Where Are the Bees? And it's no kidding now, Where Are the Bees? I'm doing this one right here. I'm doing this in my own colors. And all I have is...
Oh, look at that.
The one wing left to do.
Oh. That's so nice. Are those the called for colors?
No. These are my own. I wanted to brighten it up a little bit. The colors in here are a bit subdued.
Mm-hmm.
And I love prairie schooler. I just like the brighter colors.
Okay.
So I picked, and I honestly don't know what fabric this is on. It's probably on 36 count. So I picked a DMC 347. Nope, that's not in this one. Never mind. I'm kidding. I picked 37.99, which is one of my favorite grays.
Yes.
And 38.20 for the B.
Okay.
And that's better. That's kind of real.
Okay.
And it's working out really nicely. Whether I probably will not move on to any other smalls out of that pattern right now because I have other smalls to stitch that are
okay.
This was just, and if you see my little bee needle minder.
Yes.
I forget a friend, I think one of my daughters gave that to me. And my last one is, I've been working on this, I don't know, pretty diligently. This is the Pandemic Sampler by Sarcy Girl.
Yeah.
This was the
I like that one.
She put out. Yep. I'm stitching it on 36 count Dirty Linen by XU Design.
Oh, look at that. Wow.
It's a very nice stitch, I gotta say.
Wow.
The house is a big honking house, and there's two of them.
I was just gonna say, that's a big house.
There's two of them on there. There's that one and a red
one.
one.
That's right. There's two of them.
Yeah. So every time I sit down to stitch it, I put 1 or 2 threads into the house. I put 1 or 2 threads into the roof, and then I stitch something else.
Right.
So,
oh my gosh.
The houses will be the last things to be completed on there, probably.
Yep.
But that's really it for me. Those are the things that I've been working on.
Well, they're great though.
Yeah, I wish it was more, but
Well,
okay.
when you have another break, you'll have time.
Yes, exactly. So what whips do you have?
Okay, so for my whips, let me start with this one. So this is again out of the Winds of Autumn Blackbird design. And this one is, let's see, Spell of the Moon.
Oh, I like that one.
And I didn't have any of the all called for. I didn't even have some of the DMC called for except for 310. And then I didn't want to do 310. So this is on 14 count Murky, another little piece I had. So I did, let me see, let me put this behind it. I did $37.99, the gray.
Yep.
And then I blended for the moon 30, 46, and 833. And then it's Mountain Mist Gas is also in there as a gray in the owl. So I did also split up. I don't know if it's really showing. I feel like it's really doing funny stuff.
I can see it.
But so the moon is blendable, but then in the owl and his tail, I just did one of the colors, and then that was brighter, and then I did it a little bit, the lighter one in his chest, right?
Oh, that looks nice.
Yeah. So that's what I've gotten done so far. So this is fun. I like that. This is the one I take to work because it's small enough. And it's only like 3 colors. And right now I'm done with the yellow. So I'm just filling in all the gray.
Yeah.
So it's great to do on my lunch hour at work.
Yeah.
So I like having something to take to lunch or to take with me for lunch. The other is this one. So this, oh my gosh. This is on a scroll, and I'm going to leave it on the scroll because it's like so hard to take things off of a scroll and put it back on the scroll.
It is.
So I'm really into scroll frames because these are bigger. So this is that one Quaker Gone Tropic.
Yeah, I like the colors.
But I don't know. Some of these colors I like and some of them I don't. But it's by Michelle Inc. Needlework Designs. So you want to see who that is.
Yeah.
Okay. And so this is, I'm doing this again on, I think, more of 16 count Storm, Ada. And so I kind of am just doing, where did it go? I'm just picking up flosses and doing them whatever. Wait, let me see this side. There we go. So you can see I did like these are some DMC variegated. So I'm using mostly DMCs, but I'm using some of the variegated.
It's very pretty, Gail.
Thank you. So getting there on that one. That one's kind of fun. But it takes a lot of thinking and decision making. And so that takes a lot of brain time. I mean, you know, like even with quilts, you sit there and decide on fabrics. It'll take you an hour just to decide on a fabric for one block. Well, that's kind of the way it is.
Yep. And then I pick on my husband because when we're in the grocery store, it takes me 20 minutes to pick out a deodorant. But I could sit there and look at fabrics for hours trying to figure out what I'm going to do with something in a quilt.
Right. And so it does. It takes me a while. And then a lot of times I will put it in and take it out. Put something else in, take it out. So it'll take me, you know, all of Saturday to do one little motif.
I know.
So. And then the other is the Modern Folk Embroidery Fruit of Plenty, the Stitch Along. So I'm sure everybody has seen it.
Yep.
Yeah. So I'm on the 4th month, April. And so this is where I've gotten so far. So I was able to roll the scroll. I was so excited. Roll the scroll.
Oh, how I long to be able to say that.
Hashtag roll the scroll.
Oh, that looks nice. I love your colors, Gail.
Oh, thank you. So that is DMC 154 and DMC, what was that other? DMC 924 is the blue. And again, this is on 16 count storm. Got a lot of that storm. Got a big
I
piece
was
of
gonna
that.
say, you like that fabric, huh?
I do. But I also like your purple and this blue. And she also made me this blue. So I can't wait to do something on that. Ooh, that's gonna be so much fun. So that's what I've got so far for my whips. That's it.
That's it.
I mean, there's some other little things.
I
But
mean, I have 30 plus whips probably. I just not.
right, I know.
I haven't
But
worked.
what I've really been concentrating on stitching, that's about it, is these. This one especially. I mean, this is a good comfort stitch for me.
I was just gonna say,
I mean,
it's a good.
it's just, I love it. Even though I had to pick out that whole part, I showed Amy. Oh my gosh, the whole thing, and start over this whole bottom part here.
Remember, I
all
had to do
of
that
this.
on February. What? No, January's. Remember, I had to pick out a whole. I don't know how many stitches that was.
Because this side did not line up with this side. I was off on count somewhere, and so I had to take all of this out, and I had filled in the blue. I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So I'm glad I'm past that part.
Do you have any haul?
Well, I just have that stitchy kindness from you. But as far as haul, no.
I only have one thing. Do you
What have
remember
you-
me telling you that I ordered that Mandalorian theme box from
Yes.
Forbidden Fiber Co?
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
So the box came. So a little story. I got a notification that the box shipped. And then because the USPS system is having such a difficult time right now with the increase in packages and COVID and all this stuff, it basically went untracked. It shipped like almost 2 weeks ago on
What?
March 31st, and it basically just disappeared. And then all of a sudden it showed up Friday. So it was a good box. I don't have the whole thing down here. It came with, like, it had a lip balm in there. It had a hand sanitizer. It had some treats, because they all come with candy and stuff. And then it has a Jedi needle minder that I forgot to bring down, which was nice. It's a nice heavy needle minder, and it's got a button on the back.
Okay.
The magnet on the back. So I'll have to show that sometime in the future. But it also came with a ton of floss, fabric, and a pattern. And that's what I brought down to show.
Okay. That's the best part.
I know, that's the best part. That's what I figured. Leanne Ross is her name. She owns Forbidden Fiber Co. And the reason I know of her is I knit socks. So I was getting a yarn of the month from her until I got so many yarn of the months that it's going to take me a little bit to knit those socks. So I canceled it. But she's a fantastic yarn dyer. And that's how I know about her. Well, since she now has a floss tube, and now she's getting into cross stitch patterns.
Right.
She designed this. I should take it out of the bag. And just to be fair, I got a sneak peek of the pattern because after she thought everybody got her box, she actually emailed the PDF version of this pattern for anybody who wanted the PDF.
Oh.
So that was very kind of her. She's very.
Oh my gosh. This is the way. Oh,
Yeah.
Love it.
And so I have a little story about when I really want to stitch this, but I'm holding off because as you know, I've been working, this is the year of the whip for me, and I really didn't want, and the bee is technically a new start for me, so I've already violated my rule.
Right.
But I have a plan to start this, and you're going to laugh at me when we start talking about plans, but I'll
Okay.
But I got the pattern, which is beautiful. It's a nice, cute pattern. And honestly, I want to stitch it so my husband can hang it in his office on the wall right behind him. So when he video chats with his people at work, because he loves Mandalorian. So I just think he would love this.
Now, what is the stitch count on that? How big is that?
It is 150 by 105.
Oh, that's not too bad.
No, and most of it's like letters and stuff. I think he's a little confetti heavy. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But he's more blocks of color.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can see that because you want Yoda to have, he has the shadows.
Yeah.
Yeah. The shading. Mm-hmm.
but I so want to start. So I do have a plan to start, and it's fairly soon, and I'll talk about
Okay,
it. But
we'll get that to plans.
we'll get that to plan.
Oh, I can't wait to hear.
But I'm so excited. Can you tell? I was like, this is cool. And she sent fabric. We had a choice of what count fabric we wanted in our box. I chose 36 count because that's just my favorite. That's my jam. I stitch on all sorts of counts. It's just I like 36 count the best. I don't know why. And this is Edinburgh linen. She dyed this in the colorway Tumbleweed. And so here is that fabric.
Ooh.
So it's a nice neutral.
Yes, I like, you can really see the modeling in it. I love it.
Right. So the flosses are also hand dyed by her.
Yeah.
And she sent all the flosses needed to complete the pattern. So you've got a whole kit. That alone is worth the price.
Yes.
Right.
Now, have you used her floss before?
I have not. I do have some. Yeah.
So this will actually be your first project using all of that.
Yep.
Oh, cool. That'll be fun.
So, but these are all hand dyed by her, and some of them are Star Wars inspired themes, and some are not. This is called Boba Fett.
Oh, well.
Have you watched The Mandalorian?
I have.
Okay, so
I'm not finished with season 2.
Okay,
So I have.
You'll know some of these references then.
Yes.
This is called The Child.
Yes.
This is just called Julep, so this must be one of her standard colors. I think the lights washed that. There we go.
That's pretty. That's a pretty color.
This is called Magnetic Mahogany. This one is actually a double skein, it looks like, and this is called, this is 13 yards. The rest are 6 yards. This is called Obsidian.
Oh yeah, that's really great.
Wookiee.
Oh, of course, Wookiee. I love that.
All the Star Wars geeks that are watching us now are going to be all over this, right? This is called Tatooine.
Nice.
Makes sense because it's a sand color.
Yep.
This is, I'm going to save that one for last. Never mind. This is called Beskar. I don't know the reference.
I don't know. But it's a great color.
It is. This is called
some nice variation in it. Which one is that?
Smoke Screen.
Oh, Smoke Screen. Okay.
Garnet, which is a really nice, a really deep burgundy red.
Nice. That is nice.
And the last one, I'm going to put all these down. The last one is called This Is the Way.
Wow.
I know.
Look
right?
at that.
Like that has greens, grays, browns, yellows. And that is what This Is in the Way in the bottom of the pattern is stitched in.
Okay. Oh, that's going to be so fun. That is going to be so fun.
So I would definitely, I've gotten 2 boxes. I got one Black Needle Society box. It was the Jane Austen one, which I'm not sure. I saw Austin and I thought Austin, Texas, but it was a Jane Austen one. I'm not really a huge Jane Austen person. So it was still a very nice box. Like I got there's an awesome pattern in there. There were awesome hand-dyed flosses in there, some from Forbidden Fiber Co. There was a pattern by Heartstring Samplery. There was a good needle minder. There was tea. I drink tea in the afternoons, and there was a beautiful tea in that box. That box is a little more expensive than this one was, but I still think the boxes are worth it. If you, I hear some people complaining about them because sometimes they have non-stitchy stuff in it, like lip balm or hand sanitizer or things like that. But in this one, the pattern, the floss, and the fabric are worth the price of the box.
Right. Good.
So, I have no complaints whatsoever. None. And I can't wait to start the pattern. So, plans. Do you plan your stitching?
I try to start each month with a plan.
And then how many days into the month do you get before it all goes to heck in a handbasket?
Well, right now it's on day 11. It went to hell in a hammer because this one's actually taking me longer. This month taking me a little longer than some of the others, but that's okay because, like I said, I enjoy it.
Yeah.
And so I'm just kind of I stitch what I want when I want. I kind of do that. And if I decide, oh, I really need, because I've had a bad day or whatever, I want to start something, I'll start something.
Yeah.
But I do have plans for May.
For Mania specifically?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What are your plans for Mania? This will be your first year participating, correct?
Right.
Okay.
But I'm going to do a whip mania.
Good.
So I don't know what that's technically called. What is it called?
I don't know. I don't know.
Sania? Is that same? Something.
Sania. Stitch Sania, probably.
Something like that. But so I'm going to try and plan it. I like to work on things at least 3 days. At least 3 days. And that's about my cutoff. And then I need to switch over to something. But I also have at work, I do something there, and that's the only thing I do at work. And then I come home and I start stitching whatever I have planned for 3 days. And then I sometimes will have something planned just for the weekend. So I do need to like sit down and maybe plan out some of my whips because I got a lot of whips over there. I mean, I have some of those big ones. I mean, I have Emily's House. I have Night Walk Down. I mean, I want to finish some of these.
Yeah.
So I might even give those like a week, or those would be like, I don't know, like Mondays and Tuesdays for the whole month.
Yeah.
Or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I haven't really nailed anything down. I am doing kind of a Stitch Sania. Last year, Stephanie from Lindy Stitches, she finished the Mushroom and Fern Mandala. I point back here because it's literally right behind me, right there. She had finished all the stitching on that. So her goal was for each week of May, she wanted to bead one section so that by the time May was done, it would be completed. And so she would bead that during the week. And then if she met her goal beading, she could have a new start that weekend.
Okay, I like that.
So I'm kind of thinking, obviously this is not done. So that's not going to be the way I go. But I was thinking about dedicating each week to a whip.
Yeah.
And the reason I say like Monday, the week being Monday through Friday. So I'm trying to figure out exactly what I'm going to do for Mania. I do want to participate, and it's going to be like a Stitch Sania. May will be really weird for me because I will be half of May, I will still be teaching and I'll still be taking classes. So half of May is going to be really weird, but then the rest of May, I have a vacation in there. So I have a lot of time, and so it'll be weird. But what I'm thinking about is picking 4 whips, since there's 4 full weeks in May, and giving each one of them a week in a specific goal, whatever that is, with that whip. And if I meet that whip, then I can have a new start. Enter the Mandalorian.
Okay.
But I am toying with the idea of only having one new start for the entire month.
I was just thinking of that too. That way you get that one really going and done.
Right.
Because
so
you're going to want to keep stitching on it.
Right. So my thought is, if I make my goal on that weekly piece, as soon as I make my goal, I can start this like in week 1.
Okay. Right. Boy, that's incentive.
If I make the next weekly goal, then I can stitch on this on the weekend. If I don't, then I need to meet the goal first, and then I can stitch on this.
Very good.
So
very good.
that's kind of what I'm toying with. The next big question is, which whips am I going to target?
Right.
Because I've been through them and I love them all. So, but I really do want to get some finishes under my belt. I have a lot that I would love to stitch, but I'd like to get some things finished.
Well, I don't know that I will probably technically start anything because I got a lot of whips and I really got to get some things done. So my thought was during the week, like I said, tackle one of these that I need to do. Now, this is going to be for the month of May is going to be this tree.
Uh-huh.
That's going to be a lot.
Uh-huh.
So that's going to be a lot of stitching. I can see it already. That's a lot of stitching. So I thought that I would do on the weekends.
Yeah.
Until that's done. And maybe if I get a lot accomplished on a Saturday on the Fruit of Plenty, then I can start something on Sunday. Maybe a small start.
Yeah.
So, because I mean, I do like doing, like I said, the little smalls.
Yeah, and
So.
I do think for May, I'm going to try to do a weekly floss tube. I mean, one May I did, I think in 2019. Have I actually been doing floss tubes that long? I think I have.
Yeah.
It's funny, my YouTube channel's been up there for years because I used to do sewing videos. But I think floss tube either started in 2018 or 2019. One May, I did a video every day.
Whoa.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure it was 2019. I'm not doing that. Not doing that. But I do think
that's a full-time job just doing that.
Yeah, I want to kind of do weekly floss tubes, I think, because like I was just looking at the calendar. May 1st is a Saturday, which I won't be doing anything because I have a 12-hour clinical that day. But I could on Sunday the 2nd record a beginning floss tube, like this is the whip that I'm focusing on this week. This
Right.
is where it is right now, kind of thing. And if I meet my goal, I can start this,
Oh, that'll be fun.
And then the next Sunday, probably do the same kind of thing. Like, did I meet my goal? And so it's just a matter of figuring out what 4 whips I want to target. And in the background, there will always be the modern folk embroidery thing going. Yeah.
Well, I'm just trying to keep it kind of simple for me. But there's going to be some things probably coming up in May for me. So we'll see if I can get any of this done.
So it's funny because I think people that watch me on my floss tube, they hear me plan, because you've been watching. You hear me plan all the time. And it never really comes to fruition the way I would like it to. Either life happens or something's going on with me and I just decide to do a seaweed, stitch what I want when I want. And because the stitching is, it's therapy, right?
Right. And it should be that way for us. I mean, I think it's great to try to make plans and set goals, but they're not written in stone.
Right. And these aren't either.
Right.
Nowhere near. But I would like to get some stuff finished.
Yeah. I need to go back, work on some things.
I need to pull out my whips and really start giving them attention, whether that be, like your method, 3 days on this one. Like the pandemic sampler, I just spent 3 days stitching that. So maybe it's time to shuffle something else in for 3 days.
Right. I kind of like that 3-day shuffle because that's, like I said, that's about where I can some days it'd be 2, but about the 2 to 3 day.
And maybe
more than 1 day. I can't change up every day.
Yeah, I can, as you know, because we talked about this, I can change up within a day.
Right. I'm like,
So, I normally stitch out at least 2 pieces a day, and usually it's 2 pieces a day because Jesus is in the morning, and then the evening's usually been modern folk embroidery or the pandemic sampler right now. And the B has been my work stitch, which is why it's not finished because work's been crazy, so I have not had stitching time. at work.
Right.
But, and I do have some smaller projects up there. I mean, we joke because all my projects are gigantic. I do have smaller projects up there that so the bees finished, that I'm going to rotate one of the other small ones in and make that my work stitch. And I'm just going to kind of go, because you're right, the small ones are more portable for sure. I mean,
Yes.
it's really hard to take a frame like this to work.
No kidding. It's like,
I actually have one wider than this that I think I'm going to end up putting the mushroom and fern on so I can take it upstairs.
okay.
That's my plan today, is to try to mount that on a larger frame, because Matt made me some.
And like I said, this is about the biggest that I want to do to take anywhere is the 10-inch hoop.
Yeah, so the bee is on the 8-inch hoop. So the same, it's a Morgan hoop, and it's on an 8-inch.
Yeah, I love those Morgan hoops. They really hold it nice and tight.
Yeah. It's funny because I've almost completely transitioned from stitching in hand to having it in something now, because I just can't, for whatever reason, the stitching in hand is not working for me at the moment. And it's extremely frustrating, and the stitches aren't laying nicely, and the tension, I'm all of a sudden having issues with tension, which I've never had before. I've stitched in hand for 3 years. I've never had an issue until now. So,
well, we were saying that my job, because I am working with my hands in such a cramped, so hard, and then doing hand quilting, I don't think that I don't even want to try to start doing that in hand, because I understand with hand stitching how hard that is. And I want to save that for the quilting. What little bit of quilting I need to get finished.
I mean, and I don't have a stand like you do, but I do take this and I'll put like one end on the arm of the couch, and I'll put a couch pillow over here, and it holds the whole thing up, and I'm able to stitch, two-handed stitch all I want,
Well, a lot of times I can do that here, where I kind of like have it resting kind of on my stomach and the table.
Me too. Let's be real. Stomach's the thing.
On the table here, and like you said, you can do this. So it just depends on where I'm at. Yeah.
Yeah. So those are my plans going forward. I'm hoping summertime. For those of you that don't know, I'm a nursing instructor. So this is a busy time for me, but come mid-May, things will settle out a little bit. So hopefully summer will be more of a stitchy time for me. And I'm hoping to do a stitch with me. I got a new mount for my 35mm camera that I have.
Oh, nice.
So I've been kind of toying with doing some stitch with me's, trying to figure out a good setup for that. And so we'll see how that goes,
Oh, good.
But other than that, I guess if that's all the cross stitching we have, we might want to transition into sewing.
Okay.
So let's start with that quote behind you. Because I really like that quote behind. I like that quote behind her so much, I wrote down what it is so I can go look at it.
Okay. This again is one of my favorite quilts. And it's Brimfield Awakenings Brimfield Block. And it is English paper pieced. So each one of these is English paper pieced, and then it's hand applique onto the background block. And then I quilted in the ditch on machine, and then around each one of these motifs, and in here, and then in the outlining that, I'm doing hand quilting again with pearl cotton. The border, let me see if I can get this out just a little bit. You can see the border. Can you see the border a little better?
Yep.
So the border is called the baby Brimfield. So it's smaller. So I will show you. Let me show this. I took it out. So this is Brimfield Awakening Brimfield Block.
That's
So
right.
this is like a picture of what they did, their quilt. I added a big border on it, and I put the baby Brimfield on that. So like I said, there are template pieces, and you can get all of these from Paper Pieces. Oh, let me do this. I'm gonna see it. Where did my thing go? Oh, there it is. So I don't know if this helps see it. I don't know, but you can, well, paper pieces. So here is, can you see the thing?
I can see it. Yep.
Okay. This is the biggest template. So there's templates for all of it. You can, in the houses, there's the tall house, the small house, and the fat house. That's what we call it. It is split. So you can, change that also and do more fabrics. And then there's the orange peel and then the big center. So there, like I said, there is so it's all English paper piecing that you can get from, like you can see here, see how it's like, it is perforated, so you can take them apart.
Gotcha.
So, there's and then they have an itty bitty, which is even smaller than the small one.
Wow.
Where did I put the small one at? Where was the small one? The small one here. I had the baby. Oh, here's the baby. These are the baby pieces. That was fun. And I used the gluing method to baste it down to the, so this is like the orange peel.
Yep.
That's the biggest piece. The border ones.
Oh my.
All the papers. But I enjoyed it. That is a really good traveling back porch summer piecing.
Yeah.
Is to sit there and piece that together, because then I do where you tape the pieces together and then whip stitch that together. So yep, so that's my quilt, and I've named it Beauties and Badasses. Because I've got, I got all these different things in here. Like over here, I don't know, maybe if I do like this a little bit, you can see, there's Pele. And then there's some of the Tula Pink. And there's Frida. And then I'm trying to think. This is an art gallery. I cannot remember who did this one, this line. I can't remember.
Oh, I'm sure maybe one of our viewers will be able to
get
that out.
Oh, I can't remember.
I'm not familiar, so I have no idea.
So that's
I have a lot of fabrics that would work well in that quilt. So,
you can do anything. This lends itself to anything. Yeah. And it's fun to sit there and play with your stash.
Yeah, I have quite the fabric stash.
I thought that this would you would think, but no. I mean, I have a lot of Swiss cheese fabric now. A lot of Swiss cheese fabric now.
Honestly, Gail, I could do that quilt with all my scrap storage, and I probably wouldn't even make a dent in that.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So even if I didn't bust into my Tula Pink coveted collection, I think that I could do probably 2 or 3 of those quilts out of my scrap storage. And fabric goes farther than you think it will. I have no idea whoever thought that you needed a whole fat quarter bundle to do a quilt, because you really don't.
No.
But I do. I have several collections.
I have that too, but I've stopped really collecting fabric now.
Me too.
I have so much to go through. So I'm really enjoying doing a lot of these scrappy quilts.
Yeah.
I have some more in the works that I gotta get done for my grandchildren. They're gonna be graduating before I know it. I gotta get those finished.
Yeah, I have whips. I do not have as many quilt whips as I have cross stitch whips, but I do have like 5 or 6 going right now. And my mission completely this year, is to work on whips all the way around.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, I did not buy the latest Tula Pink line, which is very against my nature.
Me too. Although a friend of mine, a quilting friend of mine, she gifted me some and said, "Here, when are you going to leave cross stitch and go back to quilting?" I was like, "Oh, thank you," but I don't know.
I did say I was not going to do any more block of the months, although I've enjoyed the block of the months because it's like small segments and you get them done and you just wait for the next one to come. It's kind of like a modern folk embroidery cross stitch, right?
Right.
Except there's less work in the block of the months probably than there are in those the modern embroidery sale. But
Right.
I do like them because of that. I'm currently doing the Tula Pink Nebula quilt, and so I already showed Gail, so she's seen these, but I've only gotten 4 of these blocks done.
Yeah.
I have 4 more cut out next to my sewing machine, so I really do need to get to those and get them done because the next shipment is on its way. But I like them.
Like modern folk embroidery is gonna drop. You gotta finish it.
So it's just funny because though that's what keeps me motivated, that same kind of thing is
Right.
Yeah, I have a Christmas quilt that I started, a Christmas Bargello quilt from, and I'm using Sweetwater Fabrics, one of their Christmas lines. I like their fabrics. I started that with the complete intent to have it on our bed for Christmas.
Yeah.
Not even close. Like, not even close.
Well, I'm really close to finishing hand quilting one that's supposed to go on our bed.
Oh, I wish to be you someday because I do not hand quilt at all. I have a long arm, and that's how I deal with that.
Well, we were talking about that because it's like I'm getting to, well, that's why I cheat now. And I just, am doing in the ditch on the sewing machine because that's what I can do on my domestic. I can't fight. It's just such a fight. And then I'm using the Pro Cotton, the long stitch or the big stitch, because it's easier on my hand. Yeah. As far as, that motion.
Yeah. Which is why I don't hand quilt.
I've had to like put it away for a while. And that's kind of where I went to cross stitch because it was hurting to do it.
Yeah. So how long do you think it took you to make that quilt behind you?
Oh, this quilt took me because we were doing, I probably got this all pieced and put together, including all of that, probably in about 6 months.
Oh, wow. Inspiring.
But I was working on it every day.
Yeah.
I mean, that was something that I was, working on every day. And that's where I had one of these, and I would have all the pieces laid out on my board. Mm-hmm. And then it would sit there. And then when I had a chance, I would pick it up and do a couple of them. I would take some of them with me, 4th of July picnic, sitting there doing it, Yeah. It really was a nice summer one to get all of this done. Yeah. And then I think by fall, I was ready to, and I applicate as I went. I would finish a block and then I would applicate it right away. So it'd be done.
Right.
The longest part was probably the border.
Yeah.
But I know that I had probably started doing it spring of 2019. And I know I had it all pieced together by the quilt show at Botanic Gardens in November. Oh, wow. So about 6 months. Yeah, about 6 months.
Good.
So that wasn't too bad.
Oh. Now,
it's not finished because I got to hand quilt it. That's the longest part. I mean, piecing is easy. I mean, even the hand stitching part, it goes faster. It goes faster than you think.
Really?
But it's, yeah. Mm-hmm.
I don't have a love of it yet like you do. I have some hexie flowers made in that box you sent me. I have all of that stuff up next to the recliner, and I have not pulled anything out of it since last summer. I mean, I've only had the box now, but it used to be in baggies by the recliner, and I really have not worked on them since probably last summer. So,
well, like I said, that's going to be a really nice for you to sit out on your deck and do.
But I really would like to just stop working on the hexie flowers and probably work on something like what's behind you.
I know. I started a hexie flower one too because I wanted to do the English paper piece. I saw this thing and like you said, it went in the box.
Well, I can take the hexie flowers that I've made and make them into some sort of bag.
Yes.
Right. Mm-hmm. Or some sort of pillow cover or
right. Or a table runner.
Right. That doesn't have to be a full quilt just because I've
No.
started them, but yeah.
Right. Yeah, this is fun.
So,
So,
yeah.
I like this one. This one is a really cool one.
Well, we'll have to do this again sometime.
Yes, this was so much fun.
It was. And we'll chat more after we stop recording, just briefly.
Okay.
And, but thanks everybody for joining us, and
Thanks, Floss Tube.
thanks for watching. And we are thankful for you guys commenting and liking and subscribing, and please continue to do so. We're solely doing this for our enjoyment and to document our travels in crafting for our kids and those to come after us.
Right.
If you like it, great. If not, it's okay. But
Yep.
Like and subscribe both my channel, and this will also hopefully go up on Gail's channel.
Hopefully we'll figure it out.
But we'll see you next time. Bye, guys.
Bye, Floss Tube.